Today we're going to be doing a tutorial on the past two topics that we have covered: fractions, changing fractions into decimals and percentages, and also significant figures and decimal places. So let's begin our tutorial. The first question is express 0.9083 to the nearest tenth. So if you look at our decimal, this is the tenth, this is the 100. So if you are told to express to the nearest tenth, look at here. Is this number greater than 5? If it's less than 5, this one remains the same. So our answer here is going to be 0.9. That's the answer. Let's move on to another question. 784,709 to two significant figures. So 784,709 to two significant figures. So the significant figures that you need to remain with are 7 and 8. So you look at the third figure, which is 4. Is it greater than 5? No, 4 is less than 5. So the next figure will remain as it is. So our answer is going to be 780,000. This was 10 into 0. So two significant figures. So this is the answer. Let's move on. We have 7,369. 7,369 to two significant figures. So you need to remain with 7 and 3. You look at the third figure. If it's greater than 5, this figure increases by 1 unit. So 6 is greater than 5, which means the answer is going to be 7,400. So we have rounded off to two significant figures. So let's move on to the next one. So I would like you to do this one in the comment section, where you're going to express 5/12 as a decimal. Remember that when you bring down a remainder, you add a 0. You're going to divide the numerator with the denominator. Let's move on. Write 0.02998 to three decimal places. So 0.02998 to three decimal places. So this is the first decimal place, this is the second decimal place, this is the third decimal place. So you need to round off to three decimal place. So you look at the fourth decimal place. If the fourth decimal place is greater than 5, the next decimal will move the unit up. So 9 is greater than 5, you're going to have 0.0. So this one is going to become 10, and we're going to push another unit here. So we're going to have 30. Remember to put this 0, because you need to have 1, 2, 3 decimal places. So this one is your answer. That's your answer. Let's move on. To the next question. By writing each number to one significant figure, so each number needs to be written to one significant figure, estimate the value of the following expression. So you have 0.389, 0.387. 0.387 multiplied by 7.03 squared divided by square root, the third root of 8.11. So the first operation that you need to do is to put this to one significant figure, the whole expression. Then after that, we try and evaluate it. So if you want to put this one to one significant figure, you're going to have 0.4 to one significant figure multiplied by, if we need to put this expression to one significant figure, we're going to have 7 squared divided by this one to one significant figure, we're going to have the third root of 8. That's the first step. We have completed the first step. Then we move forward. The third root of 8, 0.4 multiplied 7 squared, we already know that's 49, divided by the third root of 8 is 2. That's the third root of 8. So already, since there is a multiplication sign, you have to be careful. If there is an addition sign, you can't divide this one only by 2. If there is an addition sign, you have to divide both sides by 2. But since there is a multiplication sign, which means you can only divide this one by 2. So 0.4 divided by 2, you're going to have 0.2 multiplied by 49. So this is a simpler expression. So you know how to change a decimal into a fraction. Remember, to change a decimal into a fraction, this is 10th. You're going to say 2 divided by 10th, which is 10. So this is equals to 1 over 5. So you are going to have 1 over 5 multiplied by 49. So here our answer is going to become 49 divided by 5. 49 divided by 5. Then you divide 49 by 5. 5 into 49, you're going to have 9, comma. So the remainder is 4. The remainder here is 4. Then you put a 0. Remember, on every remainder, you put a 0. 5 into 40, that's 8. So that's going to be your answer. That's going to be the answer. You don't need to use a calculator. You don't need to use a calculator here. So let's move on to the other question. 0.00274 multiplied by 3460. All of this divided by 9.88 plus 23.8 squared plus 23.8 squared. So firstly, you have to put this to one significant figure. So here you have 0.00 greater than 5, 3 multiplied. Here you're going to have 3,000. All of this divided by, here it's greater than 5, so I'm going to have 10 plus this one less than 5. That one less than 5. So you're going to have 20. Here, 20 squared. So you move on. You're going to have 0.003 multiplied by 3000, all divided by 30 squared. All divided by 30 squared. If you don't want to waste a lot of time calculating all of this, you see there are 3 zeros here and there are 3 zeros here. So obviously, if you multiply this and this one, it's going to result in 9, which is just 3 times 3. Here, if you want to prove it, you can work it. 0.000 multiplied by 0.003. You're going to have 0.009 123 123. So the numerator results in 9. So let's look at the denominator. When you multiply 30 multiplied by 30, you're just going to get 0, 9. You're going to get 900. So you write 900 here. So you have your numerator, your denominator, which is just going to be 1 over, so we divide 9 by 9, 1, we divide 9 into this one, 100. So 1 over 100.